Roll call.
Mayor Connie Ball,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit,
Here.
Alderman Jeff Fancher,
Yes, I'm here.
Alderman Roger Gribble,
Here.
Alderman Mike Hansel,
Here.
Alderman Bobby Knight,
Here.
City Attorney Terry Hurst,
Here.
City Administrator James Fincham.
Here.
Thank you, Tina. Item 3 is approval of the minutes from the meeting on May the 9th, 2017. Do we have a motion to approve as written?
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any changes necessary? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. There's no proclamations. Or Mike, do you have something?
I just want to mention Betty Ann Bullard and Kit Bewley, excuse me, they're fixing up their properties downtown, and every time we get a chance to praise somebody for helping our downtown, I just like to recognize them. We'll try to get a hold of them and let them know how much we appreciate it, making a difference. Just want them to know.
So they just updated that one building, right?
Well, they got 3 or 4 like road.
Well, that one building. Yeah, gotcha. I didn't have something else in there as well. Good deal.
Okay, item 5, report from City Administrator James Fincham.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to remind everyone of a special call meeting on June the 20th at 11 a.m. for the NUB resolution that was set. Probably y'all have been gone, but I think Mayor got in contact with everybody, but just a reminder of that, and also to help make a public notice of that. Secondly, along that same line, we are currently advertising for bids for the refurbishing of the Tanner building, and we have set a deadline of the 28th for those to come back, and in order to get in under the deadline on the state, we need to have a call meeting after that in order to accept a bid. And so whatever would be y'all's pleasure on that, since the deadline is the 28th, and they're going to have the architects are going to have a pre-bid meeting with any interested folks to put in a bid, any construction companies. It would have to be on the 29th or the 30th. And so whatever y'all's pleasure is on that. And any time of the day that works for you. It doesn't have to be the one for NUs at 11 a.m. If y'all want to do it during the day, it shouldn't take 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that's up to y'all. Whatever y'all's pleasure is, we'll make it work. But you can think about that for a little bit, but tonight we do need to set that. We don't have to this second, but before we leave tonight, we need to set that. The Brighttown speed monitor has come in that we had ordered, and that Mr. Knight brought up and got approved, and so it has arrived, and next week we're going to coordinate with the NU and try to get that installed up on Cosby Road near the old Brighttown restaurant there on the utility pole. Chief Schultz is on vacation this week, and he's in charge of that project. Was in contact with Jimmy Robertson today and told him I would have Maurice get in contact with him Monday when he gets back from vacation, and they can coordinate that. Last week, week before last now, we had our first Rhythm on the River in the concert series for the summer. Several of y'all were there. I thought we had a big turnout, over 300 people. Biggest crowd we've had so far. We got another one this week. Hope the weather will cooperate. It's not looking real good right now, but just a reminder to everybody that if the weather holds and we can have it, we will have it. We've played in the rain before. And that's all we got, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6, appointment of boards and commissions.
One thing to say.
Do go on.
I had something to say about that.
Oh, I thought you'd done said it. Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's just take just a second. I say this every week, but I'd like to thank the fire department, the street departments, and the police departments, and I'd like to give a special recognition to the Parks and Recreation. We just got back from some meetings today, and they were talking about, and I saw how important the Parks and Recreation is to the town on what to do. I don't believe people realize the spot what our Parks and Recreation does, and I just wanted you to know, Tim, that it made a big difference. We got a lot of compliments about what you do up here too, so just wanted to tell you.
Okay, on the appointment of boards, item A is the appointment of the Planning Commission. Mansfield McMahon currently is on there, and he's up for reappointment. What's the pleasure of the council?
I move that we leave him on there.
Second.
Got 2 seconds. Any other discussion, or? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item B and C, I make those appointments to the library board, and Alvin Watts is stepping down, and the library board, in a letter of recommendation, requested that Pat Mason be put on in his place. And also, Alderman Jeff Fancher, you're on there now, correct? So he wants to stay on, so I've appointed both of those, but I would like for the board to approve my appointments. If we have a motion to approve those 2 appointments that I've made.
Motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
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 Opposed is no. Thank you, gentlemen. Item D, consideration of appointment. The Economic Development Commission their board has recommended that Jeff Fancher continue to serve on that board. With their recommendation, Terry, what? That's their own board, and they're just making that recommendation. We don't have to vote on that, do we? Or
Well, that's your appointment.
Your appointment.
okay, that's my appointment as well.
And the only reason we're doing this, this is me sitting up, is because of the timing that I went on. I went in 3/4 of the way
Right.
into the
Okay.
term, and it's probably the saw fit that I stay on if it's the approval of these guys here.
Well, I'm putting you back on, but I still want the council to vote. I want them to be a part of the process. Do we have a motion to allow Alderman Jeff Fancher continue to serve on the EDC board?
Make a motion.
Got a motion, we got a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item 7, report from the Tanner Preservation Alliance.
That's you, Roland.
We really don't have a lot to report today, guys. I think our city administrator, Mr. Fincham, has already covered most of what's going on at the Tanner Building. So I'll just announce that we still have our motorcycle ride coming up on the 24th of this month, and we're actively working to make that a little bigger and better success to raise some more money for the building. That is June 24th, and anybody that has a bike or other kind of a vehicle they'd like to ride in, with cars can go too, so we'd welcome anyone that'd like to go. We'll start at the Tanner Building, we'll ride over to Hot Springs, take a quick break, come back down, I think it's Highway 209, I believe, through Greenville, and back down to 321, back to Brandywine for lunch. So everyone is welcome.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
Item 8, under old business. Item A is the consideration of the second reading of ordinance 2017-07, and I'll let Terry read that.
Yes, Mayor, that's ordinance 2017-07, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the City of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2016-2017. Second reading.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve on the second reading?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
No.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B, go ahead and read that, Terry. That's the second reading for the Newport Grammar School.
Yes, Mayor, that's ordinance 2017-08, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2016-2017 for Newport Grammar School.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item, C, that's the second reading for the Newport budget, City Newport budget. Terry?
Yes, Mayor, and that's ordinance number 2017-09, an ordinance of the city of Newport, Tennessee, adopting the annual operating and capital budget for the city of Newport and the annual budget for the Newport Grammar School and tax rate for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017 and ending June 30th, 2018.
Thank you, Terry. Do we have a motion to approve the budget on the second reading?
I make a motion to approve.
We got a second? Okay, we got a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
No.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you, Tina. Under new business, item 9. Item A is consideration of the first reading ordinance 2017-11, amending the municipal code, Title III Municipal Court, adding offender fee for paid violations.
And Mayor, that's ordinance number 2017-11, an ordinance to amend the City of Newport Municipal Code, Title III, Municipal Court, Chapter 2, Court Administration, adding offender-based fees per paid violation.
Do we have a motion to approve that on the first reading?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B, do you want to read that ordinance, Terry?
Mayor, that's ordinance 2017-12, an ordinance to amend the City of Newport Municipal Code, Title 16, Streets and Sidewalks, etc., Chapter 1, Miscellaneous, replacing Section 103, Heavy Truck Traffic Prohibited on Certain Streets.
Do we have a motion to approve that on the first reading?
Mayor, if you'd like, well, this for the record, I'd like to talk just a little
Sure.
bit about that. This is the culmination of a long process in which we've been trying to find a solution for the truck traffic downtown that keeps striking the Betty Ann Bewley property where the coffee shop is. We've met with the state on multiple occasions. We had an engineer come and look that we brought in on our own to try to find a solution, and there is a photograph behind this ordinance. This picture right here is a diagram that he did looking at how we could reconfigure the intersection to try to make the trucks make a wider swing. But in the meeting that the mayor and Gary and others had with TDOT in trying to find a solution for this problem, the only thing that we could come up with that can work, because the turn radius, if we reconfigure the interchange, and that's all we do, the computer program showed that the turn radius on the large trucks would still not allow them to make that turn without running up on the sidewalk at Newport Hardware. The trucks have gotten so large now that towns our size simply cannot handle them. And so what this does is it prohibits a right-hand turn at that intersection by trucks over a certain length, and I forget off the top of my head. It's in here, I think, the weight and the size and all that. But they'll have, if we're going to make them have, the truck route will now be turning right on Main. It's a suggestion now. Well, that'll be the only way they can go to go west. If they go over to the next interchange and try to turn right, that will be in violation, and we can write them a citation. This has been looked at, the staff has worked on this, it's been looked at by the city attorney, it's been looked at by the city judge, and everybody's in agreement. This was based on what's been done in other locations as far as restrictions downtown on truck routes. And so this is kind of the only solution we had left to look at that'll actually work, is just to prohibit them from turning there. So that is what this is. It's kind of a drastic solution, but it's the only solution available. The state agreed that this is basically the only option we've got left.
I think at Norfolk Southern and the street department have been working on the holes at the railroad track up there. I got a call yesterday about it, and trying to make that to where it will be a smoother turn if they have to turn right there.
Now, the state is going to do some reconfiguration. They're going to move back the stop bar on Main to where the trucks have more room to turn when they come off North Street. They're going to put new signage up, but they said that it would be August or September before they could do that. But we have to do 2 readings on this, and the second one would be in July, so it would be August. That's going to work. That's not going to throw that out of whack too bad as far as the timeline goes. But this is the solution that was come up with a collaboration of all the entities involved. The only way to stop it is to prohibit it. That's really the only thing that's left to try. Another thing that came out of that meeting, we discussed the traffic lights on Broadway. That project, they said again that they will get to that with the funding. That hopefully this new 7 cent or whatever the gas tax was that went into place should help with funding. There's a lot of projects in Cotton County and Newport that are approved but not funded, and hopefully this gas tax will move those projects along. The one thing that we did get a no-go on was to look at having a turn arrow at Brock's for those coming west into town from Eastport. And they said they did an extensive study up there, did a traffic count, sat there, and they showed us the computer model. It's very impressive, the animation they had to show it. But they said that it was not warranted. There weren't enough vehicles having to wait, and the wait time was a minute and something on average, and they said that it just wasn't warranted. But they did do a study and reported back to us, so we did try to address that for folks that were complaining about it, but the state says it's not warranted. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have a motion to approve item B on the first reading?
So moved.
Do we have got a second? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, Design Review Board, Gary Carter.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
Gentlemen, tonight I want to bring up a topic, and I want us to discuss it, and then we'll come back. If it is your pleasure, we'll come back next month with the proper ordinance to create this. I ran this by the Planning Commission. They are willing to serve as this board the same way they serve as the Board of Zoning and Appeals, but of course it would be your decision to create it. The Design Review Board Commission, what is it? What do we have it on there as? Design Review Board? The Design Review Board would come up with a set of regulations as far as facade and physical appearance was concerned of new construction and renovation in a certain area, which is going to be our C1, our downtown. We don't want to be non-residential. It would be for citywide, but the intent would be, when you create it, it's for citywide jurisdiction, but the intent would be to only make it downtown so that we could prevent a property owner from putting up a metal building or something cheap and something quick to get something open, when that's fine in any other part of the city. But I feel like it is I think that the board sort of wants it to be the policy that anything downtown needs to adhere to a certain standard as far as design and as far as aesthetics goes. So, again, I just want you guys, if you've got questions, if we want to talk about it, but if it is your pleasure to do it, then I'll approach the Planning Commission, and they'll officially recommend that we create one, and then we'll have the proper ordinance next month to present.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
And keeping up with what's going on.
If someone was denied a building permit because their facade didn't meet what the Design Review Commission chose to make their standard, then the city council would be set up as the appeals board to that, the same way now if they get turned down at a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, if they're denied, they can appeal to you. It'd be the same concept. But, and they all agreed that they didn't want to make it so heavy-handed and everything look exactly the same, but at the same time, I think the example we used was a Pal's. Everybody wants a Pal's in Newport, but at the same time, with the blue building with the hot dog and the french fries on it, that would downtown be the best place for that? Mm-hmm. They want to be on Cosby Highway anyway, so I don't think that'd be an issue.
Y'all okay with that?
Yes, sir.
With putting it.
Okay, I will, at this month's Planning Commission, I will make certain that they are, that they vote to recommend it, and then I will appear next month with the actual.
Before Gary sits down, four of the aldermen, and Mr. Gribble wasn't able to attend, but we just got back from the Tennessee Municipal League meetings, and the work he does within the people from one end of the state, very commendable. And I just want to tell you publicly, I watched your work, and has his nose in the grind, stuck to the grind. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Finch.
Very professional,
Did a good
too.
job, and several people were bragging on you down there too, along with our finance director and stuff. I want her to know that.
We got them full, Tina. We got to keep it up. All right. I'll take care of this. I'll be back next month with so we can vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Item D, Jeff Fancher,
Animal shelter. Imagine that. Just to get you up to speed as far as the numbers go, I hate to keep the old scorecard. I used to thought this was some of the most irrelevant stuff we had in our packet each month, but once again, the numbers speak for themselves. 89 animals came from the county last month, for the month of May, and 18 came from the city. I'll let you all do the math on that. 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, me, Mr. Gribble, and Gary Carver and James, we met with the Cott County Mayor, Crystal Ottinger, and I think there was 2 or 3 commissioners there, wasn't there, Roger?
Yes.
2 or 3, along with the County Mayor Carter Moore, and along with the representatives from the Friends of the Animal Shelter who had a proposal that was presented to us, or it was actually a discussion between city and county. And, I would say, for lack of better terms, April Clevenger was the moderator of that. So I know, us being out of town, that the county met last night. I don't know what their findings were. So I have a call in to Carter Moore, that's supposed to be calling sometime in the morning, or Crystal Ottinger, to see what actually they did last night at their county commission meeting.
There wasn't a whole.
And I also we'll wait to hear from them. And also, I was told just a few minutes ago, also in a text message, that there was not. So yeah, so kind of my meeting tomorrow will probably be irrelevant. But
I'm sorry, I missed that.
there wasn't a quorum at the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't vote.
That was a finance meeting, was it not? It wasn't a CLB meeting.
Well, it's to talk about funding for this, but I wanted to meet with James and the Crystal Ottinger and the commissioners, but we feel that the Sunshine Law would be violated there. So we're going to suggest that Terry, you and Carter Moore get together and discuss some of the parameters of what pardon me, of what the county's thinking, and and what we're thinking as well.
I had a discussion with him last week. He's on vacation this week. Won't be back, I don't think, till the weekend.
So we're basically sitting back waiting for what the county is going to do. And, pardon me, sorry. And also to add into that, I had a meeting along with Coach Profit, members of the MTAS this week, last 4 days. And we're not the only municipality that's dealing with issues of animal shelters from one end of the state to the other. And MTAS issued us a formula that is equal based on population and gross population for cities and counties. Now, you know, that was a good formula, but then again, we got to have a willing participant across the railroad tracks to make this thing work. So we're going to have to wait to see what the county does, in my opinion, and also to let know there's some vicious rumor out there that all dogs are going to be euthanized at the animal shelter on the 16th. Where some of you folks get this information at, well, I'll never know.
Lisa said it on
But also that's not going to happen. All animals will not be, as far as over my body, there will be no animals unless they're sick. To use a phrase that was used in the last meeting, there will be no animals euthanized as far as I'm concerned. So that's a falsehood and straight from the depths. But that's my input on the animal shelter.
Thank you, Jeff. Item E, discussion of renovation of buildings for sale.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
I've gotten a lot of questions, and I'm concerned myself with, I've seen 2 different crews, one from Park and Rec and one from the street department working in those buildings, and I know they were cleaned out by the people that do the cleaning on the roadside, the convicts, and but I'd just like to know what we're doing and how much money we've invested in that and where the money's coming from. We haven't appropriated money. I've heard everything that it's going to be a pet store to a dog pound, and it's not zoned correctly for a dog pound and zoned for a pet store. But I'd just like to know, you know, well, 1, where's the money coming from? And 2, do we have a plan for that, or is somebody buying it and we're doing renovation on it, or what are we doing down there?
Well, what we're doing down there is, I think, pretty much since it's been in the paper and everywhere else, that everybody should be fairly aware. We're looking for a temporary solution to our animal control issue, since we're having to vacate the animal shelter by July 1. The jail inmates were down there moving items. They didn't do any renovations to the building.
I didn't say they did.
They removed items that Keep Cotton County Beautiful had down there, because the building was full of Keep Cotton County Beautiful's supplies. And they took those out and they moved them down the street to the other building we own down there. We allowed them to do that. As far as money, we have spent, as of today, around $5,800 down there. That money is coming from the building repair money out of City Hall's budget. I checked with the auditors to make sure that was an appropriate use of that money. They felt like it was. As far as being zoned against an animal control facility, it was my understanding you talked to Mr. Robinson about that, and he explained to you that that was not the case, that it is not zoned against them.
Well, he didn't say that. He said you had decided that you could put it under as a pet store, and is what he explained to me.
It's not what he told me he told you.
Well,
and that's not a conversation that he and I
I didn't play it for you. I don't, you know, I don't know what.
Well, if you had checked with me, I could explain anything to you.
If I did what?
If you'd asked me any of the questions, I'd have been glad to explain any of that to you.
Well, he's had zoning. I thought I put a call into him.
Well, and he checked with the state planner, and the state planner said there's nothing that restricts against the use of that facility in downtown.
That's a dog pound.
Whatever you want to call it.
Well, I'm not calling it anything. I don't know what it is. what they
It's an
put in
animal
down there.
control facility. If you want to call it a dog pound, that'll work.
Well, animal control facility.
I think the city
I don't
got,
think it goes, can you put one of those under C1?
I think the city got backed up in a corner
Well, that's the state planner's opinion.
Well,
That's not
whenever,
my opinion. That's based on an expert. not
well, I
mine.
think the state planner missed it. That's his opinion.
I guess that's yours.
Pardon?
I guess that's yours.
That's right. That's correct.
well, it come, the whole thing is narrowed down though. The sort of got caught in a bind and had to do something. You can't wait a long time to do it. And to my knowledge, this thing is just temporary that we can get something else set up. But you had no other choice, or I don't know of any other choice. Everybody's got all these solutions. I'd like to know what they are. What are you gonna do? You have to do something with animals now. You can't wait another month or two before you decide. You've been having to work on this already. And I think that you had to do maybe what you had to do.
We had a month, and I think the Friends of the Animal Shelter asked on separate occasions to, if we'd meet with them and see if we could negotiate some type of solution. I don't know that we've ever met with them other than the meeting they had.
I had a communication with Miss Ann Fontaine yesterday, correct, Miss Fontaine? And told her same thing I reiterated here just a minute ago, that I'm waiting on the county to make the first move, because that's basically the level playing field we want. I haven't heard, and we haven't heard. And I told her first thing I heard something from the county, I'd let her know. Correct, Ms. Fontaine?
Okay. Moving on to item 10. Item A, consideration of bids for police records and court system for the city of Newport.
Mr. Finchman, is this all that's been worked out and everything?
Yes, well, Mr. Gall's here.
Okay, I wonder who's going to speak
To
for it.
speak on behalf of the police department, and also Rocky is the IT guy. They went through a lengthy process of evaluating. They've traveled to many other jurisdictions, looking at the records management systems they have, and they put hours and hours of research into this. Now, just to clarify, this is a two-part bid. The police records management system is also going to tie into the court's records management system. And so whichever bid you take for the police records management, then you have to take the correlating one for the court records management, because they're together, even though they're two different things. And just for the record, the fee that you passed earlier will fund the court version of this. That's what that was for. That was an option that we had, was to let a court fee fund this so that the taxpayers didn't have to. And that's the court side, not the police side. But if you have any questions for them about what it does, or...
Is there anything y'all think you need to tell us?
We've spent endless hours, Chief Schultz, Deputy Chief, Rocky, myself, looking into different systems, such as James said, and we're not here to ask for monies. That money's done in the budget. We're just went with the system that we like, and we were going to propose that.
We got 4 bids that were turned in, looked at all 4, went to Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, looked at one, had others come do in-house demos. The court version that goes with that, Tiffany looked at, she's real happy with it. So the one we chose to go with, there's no hardware to install, it's all just web-based, nothing to back up, no extra equipment to purchase. So we like that. We like the fact that this company also works with our 911 software, so that can sort of import the data from a call straight into it to make the arrests and incidents go quicker, where they don't have to keep re-entering information. So, it goes from 911 to us to the court, all just flowing to where they don't have to retype information.
Do we have a motion to approve the bid?
Was that the lowest bid, Rocky?
Well, you have 2 different options. A lot of these software companies want you to purchase their software, and then they want you to purchase hardware that you keep in-house. So we chose not to do one like that. We chose one that's just a subscription-based. So it was the lowest first-year cost, and then it was the second lowest recurring cost.
Y'all seen that, you said you need something compatible with the rest of your stuff too, didn't you? Everything?
Well, you could go with one that did the court and the records management, but it didn't work with 911, so we chose the one that did, so all three pieces work together now. And it was the only one that did that.
Rocky, is it a user-friendly system?
We actually, even if it wasn't one that worked with 911, it was the one we would have chose anyway because it was the most user-friendly. It's a brand-new piece of software. They have it in other states, but in Tennessee, we're going to be one of the first ones to use it in Tennessee. They're going from the old style, like I said, that requires hardware, to this one being totally web-based. So it's a modern, just internet interface. You can use any web browser. And like I said, Chief Schultz, Deputy Chief Hudson, even our Tivers person, Susan Ball, she likes it. She approved, that if we went with this one, she'd be happy with it. So
This one was probably the most user-friendly out of all of them to navigate on.
So everyone that'll be using the system said that it was their favorite of the four.
Is it just a records management system where you have mobile data interface?
Well, since it's web-based, there's no software to install, and we do have access cards in the car, so it's just a website. So yeah, they can use it in the car.
Will they be able to receive their calls and information? That's what I'm asking.
It's not necessarily a full CAD. It's more when 911 puts it in the system and there's an arrest or something from that call, they can just grab the information and it already be in their report. They don't have to retype it. And based on that information, you can do a lot more stats, where a lot of our ladies up front spend hours every month doing stats for you all in the books and things. This system will just do those stats instantly. So that's, another advantage to it.
Rocky, for the record, which one did you all recommend?
It's a company out of Tullahoma, Tennessee. They're called Aegis-Cent Technologies. And we've talked to their representative. He's former law enforcement. He's been chief in, various cities, and he is a great guy and everything. And like I said, we're real pleased with what they've got to offer. And they're, like I say, they're a Tennessee company out of Tullahoma. So,
Did we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the bid.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Glenn Ray's still here.
Yes.
Glenn, I just was going to share this letter. You received it too from the mayor of Jackson, Tennessee, in support of what Newport Utilities has done on the broadband, just for the record.
And also for the record, there was a big discussion at TML from people, especially in our area, that Newport was getting involved with broadband. Nothing but positive comments from top to bottom about it, Glenn.
Talking about how important it was to their cities and their counties and stuff, and how our county's gonna be, one of the first to have it. And one of the people said it helped them recruit 17 more places because they had the broadband already in place.
Don't forget to call me, please.
Yes.
What day would be convenient with you, Mr. Ray, on the call meeting? Oh, yeah.
I'm
We're
not-
talking about the call
Yeah.
meeting for the...
Yeah.
We're talking about for the Tanner building.
I'll do citizens' comments in a minute.
Oh, I thought you was talking about
Thursday or Friday, the 29th or 30th. It's a Friday. What time, Mike?
I can do either one.
They won't take long. If y'all want to come during the day like you're doing the NU one, that's just whatever's convenient.
I thought we was talking about.
No, this is the call meeting.
For the bids, for the...
Bids on the...
The bids on the Tanner
But it
building.
won't take, I'm just saying, it shouldn't take
Let's put a date down.
a few minutes.
Thursday at 11 o'clock?
Okay.
Are you going to...
I can't be here. Well, my wife's got 2 doctor's appointments.
Okay, Friday.
11:10 to 2 o'clock. But is Friday okay with everybody?
Can we just do a tolling on that? I mean, do we have to meet?
Yeah, we have to.
Toll
We'll
it?
have to meet.
Okay.
And this has to be the majority here.
Yes, you
Yeah.
just have to have a
I
quorum.
can't
Three,
be there.
we need 3 minutes.
Can you meet on Thursday?
No, sir. I'm leaving on the 25th
Okay.
for the NCAA.
4 of you can be here?
I'll be here.
Okay, so you want it Thursday or Friday? Which one?
Well, whatever's best for them.
Either one's fine with me, I'm gonna be here both days.
The city come down this.
Friday at 11?
The 30th.
The 30th.
Thank you.
Call meeting. Mark, I just need to, I've got a question I've got to ask you about a property owner when the meeting's over. Okay, the floor is open for citizens' comments. If you are going to comment, step to the podium and state your name, and there's a 5-minute limit.
Hello, my name is Ann Fontaine. I'm Vice President of the Friends of the Animal Shelter. I'm here to try to save our reputation. There's been rumors, for one thing, saying that we were evicting the shelter on July 1st. In reality, we were told in April by James Fancham that that the city was going to negate the lease that we had with them. The lease is supposed to be in effect until 2021, excuse me. And so we went to our lawyer to see whether indeed we could enforce the lease. He told us no, that there was a clause that the city could get out of. However, he said we would have to have a new lease if we were going to permit to have animals in the shelter for our own safety, so that in case we would be sued or whatever, we'd have to have another lease. So we had the lawyer send the letter, and all of you aldermen, I believe, received one, hopefully, and James Fincham received it. So it was not that we were evicting you from the shelter. It was that we were requiring another lease for our safety if you were to stay. Now, we never got an answer about that. Nobody addressed us as to having a new lease. So that's the first thing. Secondly, the effort to ruin the reputation of the wonderful people who have worked so diligently for the last 20 years to see that we have an animal shelter to protect these animals, to say that we stole $75,000 makes me furious. I would like to see the proof from the bookkeeping where we stole $75,000. I could have you see the books that our good treasurer keeps, perfect books that show every dollar that comes in and every dollar that comes out. And we certainly wish we had $75,000 now, because we're going to have to put $10,000 into a roof and probably at least another $10,000 into replacing the ceilings in the shelter because of mold damage. I think that we deserve a very sincere and a very public apology for these accusations against us, and I think this might be a good time to start. Would you like to say anything, Mr. Fincham?
Well, I haven't accused you of stealing anything, so I don't know where you're putting that at me. The only thing I've talked about is that the meeting we had here, and I didn't tell you we were breaking the lease, till that was done over a year ago. What I told y'all was that in the coming budget, we were scaling back to the original one building, and we were shutting down the Brandon building. That's what I told you. And as far as, I've never said any money was stolen from anybody, but what I have said is that all the monies that had come in through the rolling rescue were not turned into the city. I have said that, but I've never accused anybody of stealing. To say that would be that it's gone, it's missing. I've never said it's missing. All I've said is we didn't get it. That's what I said. I've never said they stole the money. I've never said that to anybody.
That's a strange...
And I challenge you to find anybody that'll say I told them that.
That's a strange thing, that how did this word get out? that
How does the word get out that we're doing all these things we're not doing? If you can figure that out, you're smarter than I am, because we've been accused of everything under the sun. I've been misquoted left and right, just like right now, over things that I absolutely did not say. When we had our meeting in here with you all, when Tina and I met with you, one of your officers sat there and argued that we had never met with you all before, and even you all had to correct her in saying, yes, they have met with us before, and she said, well, not this year.
well, we met with
So,
you.
I mean, you tell me how misstatements get out there. I don't know the answer to that.
we
I don't
met
know.
with you
Some
on
people get
April-
confused, and some people do it intentionally.
We met with you on April 11th, and on that day, you said that you were breaking the lease.
We broke the lease a year ago.
All right then, so you got the letter saying that another lease had to be made in
Yes.
order for you to stay in the animal shelter. So why weren't you talking about that?
I called 4 of the aldermen, and I told them about the letter, and I discussed with them what our options were, and that if we did not, the way I saw it, meet y'all's demands, then we had to be out by July 1. And so they said to start making plans to be out by July 1. That's what the letter says.
And the letter
so
also said
That's
if-
when I began. I told them what my option was. We had the building downtown that I could rehab.
Okay, time's up.
That's what we did.
Any other comments from citizens? Okay, Tim.
I wanted to try to invite y'all to 4 things that are happening in Parks and Recreation
We're having some technical
this week.
difficulties.
You gotta get Rocky involved there. The IT man.
Thank you.
I want to personally invite you guys to this week, Thursday night, we have starting our Kiwanis Fireflies Flicks. Trey and I talked about it early, and Thursday night we'll be showing Milana. Friday and Saturday is the local car show, the Moonshine Rod Run, and that will be Friday and Saturday. Then Monday, we start the intermediate 11, 12, and 13-year-old district tournament at the Big League at the City Park. Then in the following week, our city attorney again takes his all-star team to compete in the 9 and 10-year-old district, which is held at the City Park too. So these are some things that are happening right here in your back door, and we'd love to see you pop in and say hi to us and enjoy what we're doing in Parks and Recreation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
I would like to say, I got to brag on Tim and his staff. They do an excellent job at the park. The kids, they're well taken care of. They do everything to ensure their safety and make sure they have a good time. And I personally appreciate it.
Any other comments from citizens?
I'll just keep this in my water.
Let me catch my breath here. I've come before the civil servant, the
Please state your
city.
name, please.
Lori Keller, and I work at Valore Furniture.
Okay.
And I was told that I needed to come here to this meeting to appeal. What I'm trying to do is, I work as the HR and accounting at Valore. We're a furniture company right down the road. We've been there since 2005, and we're a few years, 3 years behind on our personal property taxes. And 2015 was a bad year for us. It was really hard. But we're doing better. We're a small business. We're thriving now. And, sorry.
It's all right.
But we'd like to, we're at the position now that we want to get caught up. And we want to get our taxes paid. But we're still recouping at the same time. And I've got a worksheet. If I may give y'all a copy so y'all can see what I'm fixing to ask you for.
Thank you.
You're done fine. You're done
5
fine.
minutes, I'm never done this before.
You're done
I've got it broke down for county and city. I've got it broke down for court costs, attorney fees, and interest, as well as what the actual tax is. And what I'm asking is if we could possibly get the court costs, attorney fees, and interest waived so that we can get caught up. We're prepared to pay the whole taxes, the actual taxes for 2014, 15, and 16. But we're, at the same time, we're, like I said, it was a bad year for us for 2015. And so, you know, I was having to call vendors and ask them to, you know, kind of give us some grace period on getting things paid and stuff. So we're back on our feet and stuff, but I'm trying to get a little help so we don't wipe out everything trying to get caught up on this. And I would just like to ask if there was any way that we could find pardon on these extra fees, which for the city it would be $24, $29, $31. I didn't have that broke down, but if you would go down to the bottom of the city, you can see what the total in interest and attorney fees and court costs would be, and the city part would be $24, $29, $31, and that's what I'm asking if y'all would consider waiving and pardoning us on those fees so we could get our...
Ma'am, tell me where you're, I'm sorry, you're located where?
We are at Valore Furniture right here. We're actually down below the fire department in between Feed My Sheep and Hilltop.
Okay, gotcha.
And I took this upon myself to do this. It's a company I've worked for 6 years, and I like my job. I like what I do. I like being a part of this community, and they said this is the only way to get it, to see if it can be.
Terry, can you?
Well, here's my suggestion, ma'am. Since this isn't on the agenda, I would suggest that we consider this at the next meeting. I don't think nothing's going to be done to you in the next 30 days for sure. And maybe I'll talk to Mr. Jeff Green, who is our tax collector for delinquent taxes, and maybe he could come and advise you all what he thinks can and cannot be done. Some of these things, of course, if it's in court, the court has to waive it. I think we could make a recommendation, though, and if you could maybe come back and maybe bring...
How many folks do y'all employ down there?
Right now, we're at 16.
16? Okay.
You know what we had to be careful about? Somebody else brought one up a while back, and everybody's got different things. I want to help you more than anybody. I want you here, like here, anything we can do for our community here is great. I just got to figure out like what Terry says, you need to make sure we're legal about what we can do or can't do. Didn't open up a can of worms either.
I totally understand that, and I don't know if this has happened before or anything. I did talk to Jeff Green and also one of the clerks at the office, and this is the direction. That's why I'm here, is because, you know, they couldn't do anything. It has to come from the board.
But
We'll get it on the agenda.
We'll have it on the agenda, and we'll tell the board what they can do.
Okay, great.
And then it'll be their pleasure, of course.
Okay, great. So
Second Tuesday of next month.
Yes.
Second Tuesday.
Of July.
Thank you for investing in
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
And I'm hangry, so that's...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Can you come to the mic?
It's just a question. Is there a regulation, an ordinance, regulating merchants downtown putting their stuff out on the sidewalks?
That problem's being addressed. I think I know what you're talking about.
They're in the process of leaving.
Yeah, that's...
It's been addressed about a month ago.
Yeah, it's in process. Okay, someone else raised their hand. Yes.
My name's Linda White. I'm sure you all know who I am. I've got a question, but if I may I give my 5 minutes to Miss Ann so that she can finish what she's had to say without being interrupted by Mr. Fincham? May I give my 5 minutes to her?
Well, she asked him the question.
Well,
And
he went on and on and on, but she wasn't
Well,
finished.
I
Was
mean,
she
this,
finished?
yeah, she can have your 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Well, in addition, I would like to say that we have had many meetings about this, and we have decided amongst ourselves that the only thing we can do to keep this shelter the same as it is, if we do get a donation of $100,000 from the city and $100,000 from the county. Now, if either one reneges, we can't do it. There's no way that our small group can fund a shelter for a year for less than $300,000, truly, even if we have a lot of volunteer help and all. So this is just crucial. However, we've got other plans too. We're thinking if this doesn't work, we can open more of a no-kill type shelter, one that we're just using the one main building, and we can just take surrendered animals, only ones that are very adoptable, and we can have a shelter similar to Pets Without Partners. We've gone and talked to those people. They have very little help from the city and county, and they're able to do it. And they have a thrift shop, and they have different fundraisers, and we think we can do that too, but there's no way we can do that. If you folks don't agree to the $100,000, and I mean, then we can't, doesn't matter what the county does. It has to come from both of you because there's no way we can do it otherwise.
We've been leading the pack for the last 15, 18 years, so it's all across the street to railroad tracks, ma'am.
I know.
On a level playing. Now, even if we went 50-50, that's still not a level playing field.
We know that.
I think, speaking for myself, I'd settle for that, and we could roll. But if we get some cooperation across the street, I think we'll all try to make this thing work.
Well, you know, we never did have an agreement with the county. The county had an agreement with you folks.
That's unfortunate as well.
We only had the agreement with the city.
People in the city pay county taxes too. That's where they've got a problem a lot of times when the county does it, because we pay both taxes, but.
Well, they have their argument too about the prison or something.
Oh, yeah.
And
The
we-
jail's funded by the state.
We can't do anything about that. All we know is that what we have to do in order to keep this animal shelter going. And I don't see any way in the world, I don't care what anybody says, that if you have that building downtown, that you are going to avoid euthanizing a whole lot of animals, and that's what we really care about. Is there anything you folks would like to ask me?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate what y'all have done.
Any other comments from citizens? Do we have a motion to adjourn? Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes.
Tina's already adjourned.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you, Tina. This meeting's adjourned. Mark, don't forget.